Everybody, it's your boy AT2. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. When Monique said in this interview with T.S. Madison that when she was talking with Oprah, she thought she was talking to her friend, not her enemy. That hit me so deep because there's been plenty of times where I thought I was talking to a friend and this person turned out to be my enemy. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to get right into this, you guys. Guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. And yeah, Monique said some things that make you go, wow, I never thought about it like that. But hey,
for you watched a black woman be thrown under the bus and you said nothing, as you spoke about equality when you were working in Baltimore at a show called People Are Talking, and Richard Sher was making $50,000 and Oprah Winfrey was making half of that, and she wanted to know, why does he make more money than me? That's not fair. So you've dealt with inequality, and to watch another black woman deal with inequality and you keep quiet. Now there's two parts to Oprah Winfrey that I haven't really spoken about publicly. The other part with Oprah Winfrey is, yeah, you let me get thrown under the bus and you said nothing. The other part is you mess with my family. You mess with my mother, my father. She called me about my brother, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, listen, everybody can change. He wanted to apologize for molesting me. She said, Monique, would it be okay that he comes on? And would you like to come on? I said, I don't want nothing to do with that cat, but I don't want to get in the way of his blessing. If he's changing, I don't want to stop that. She never said my mother. She never said my father. Now, I know who my parents were because
she used Monique for profit. She found out about her story, was like, oh, this be good for TV. Not that, ooh, maybe we shouldn't touch on this. Like, if I share some personal stuff with you, I don't want you telling the whole world.
They're both gone. I know who they are. I know my mother's greed. I know my father's greed. And you did not say that you were going to have my parents. Because had you said you had my mother, now we had a conversation and I said to her, me and my mother are not in a good place. Now she said some things to me about her mother and father, which I'll never repeat because I'm thinking we're having a sister moment. Yeah. So I shared some things with her about my mother, sometime in tears, and we talking. And then you go put my mother on your show. Yeah, we got a problem. We have a problem. And because it's Hollywood, oh, Monique, just don't say nothing. That's my mother. Yeah. And I didn't want the world to see my mother like that. So now when I'm in the Walmart, when I'm in the store, and before y'all say anything, this was Walmart years ago. Yeah. Okay, this was when they had DEI still going on. Shit. I'm in the store and the elderly women are coming up to me saying, your mama ain't shit, baby. We're here for you. That's still my mother. So now I got to look at this elderly woman and say, you got to be respectful. But she watched that woman sit there and support the man that molested me. So me and Oprah Winfrey, T.S. Madison, I thought I was talking to a sister. I did not.
This is deep right here. This is very deep because when you think about it, like, you literally went ahead and still interviewed my mom, and I did not want you to do it. And the particular reason is because I didn't want the people to come after my mom. You know, I've been in a situation where people felt, you know, me just being a YouTuber, that it was okay to attack my family. And no, it's not okay. Yeah, I can talk about my family, how dirty and how, you know, how much they get on my nerves or whatever. I can say that about them, but no, you can't say that. I can say that. It's two different things when it comes from me compared to when it comes to you. So I get what Monique is saying. That's hard. Like, people are on your side, but yeah, you can't talk about my family like that. Are you crazy?
No, I was talking to an enemy. I did not know she would take my story and bring my mother on that show. I did not know she would have my drunk father on that show. And my father was getting ready to cuss Oprah Winfrey's ass out because the liquor started getting good to him. So when she said, well, when did you know he was a monster? My father said, what? At that point, my mother tapped him like, don't do that. Because he'll go off. He'll go off. Yeah, he'll go off. He'll call her names.
I received what you just said about that because the first, and nobody knows this, but we're having sister conversation right now. The first episode we did here, the podcast, was my test episode, and I did it with my mother.
Come on.
And so my mother started sharing things with me openly about her mother. And it got very heated in this room. And what that let me know was it's unhealed trauma there.
Yes.
We could talk about this, we could talk about this. But you know what she said when we got her, and I told them in the creators room over there, back here, whatever the producers, we're going to have to scrap some of this. Because my mama is mad and my mother is angry, but this is some unhealed stuff that's going on with my mama. But my mama said as much stuff that went on with her mom, I don't want the world doing that to my mama.
Come on, baby.
That's interesting. Like, I don't know maybe I'm not keeping up with all the shows and stuff like that, but I don't remember Miss Mary being a guest. I thought Tina Knowles was like the first guest on her podcast. So yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Like, man. But again, T.S. Madison was like, I'm not gonna use my mama for content because people are gonna say X, Y, and Z, and they're gonna say this. Again, you have that thought process, like, I'm not gonna embarrass my family like that.
And so because I don't want that world doing that to my mama, I don't want that stuff to air here. And I respect her for that. I told our heart that I need to see that footage before because I don't want that whatever is gonna hurt my mama or hurt our relationship, I don't want that out. So I feel you on what you just said. Like, yeah, me and her said, you and Oprah said in the conversation, y'all shared personal things with each other. And she talked about her, and you even right now saying, I'm not even gonna share that shit. Because I talked to you in a sister moment.
My integrity won't let me share it. My integrity won't let me do that to that woman. Though if I was a different woman, I would. See, when you have a woman named Oprah Winfrey, and let me say this so I'm clear. I love Oprah Winfrey. And I love her so much. I want that sister to get them shackles off of her. That's how much I love her. Because she also has that God complex. There's a man named Roosevelt Cartwright. That was Roosevelt's right-hand man. He was doing her makeup. Then he was a dog walker. Then he was just like a friend to her. And he came on the Monique show and began to do my makeup. And he said to me one day, he said, Oprah questioned me about your marriage.
What?
I said, what do you mean she questioned you about my marriage? She asked me, was your marriage real?
Ooh, Oprah. First of all, how can Oprah ask anybody about their marriage when she with Stedman and they're not even married? Like, what? Huh?
And he said, I looked at her and said, that's the realest shit I've ever seen. And it would make me question, why are you questioning about my marriage? Why is that a concern of yours? You have my number. You can give me a call. And as I say Roosevelt Cartwright's name, that man is 75 years old. He said, Monique, I'm too damn grown to be scared. Anything I've said to you, you can say publicly. Because I'm too old for that. I'm too old for that shit. So what happens is when we see a woman like Oprah Winfrey, in my humble opinion, right? And we see this billionaire and we see this woman that with all this success, and we think that's the way to go. We're like, oh yeah, I got to get my vision board and I got to do all these things and I got to do this and I got to do that. But you're looking at a woman, in my humble opinion, with everything and nothing. I have all the stuff. I can tell you about business. I can tell you about stuff. What can you tell me about love and being loved? Now, these are her words, not mine. Research it. She said one night she put on a lingerie and she stood at the top of the steps for Stedman. And she said when Stedman walked up the steps, he bust out laughing and looked at me and said, what are you doing? Those are her words. And he kept walking. So
why did Monique tell? Oh my God. Do y'all know about that story? Let me know in the comment section if you guys know about that story. I've never heard that one before. Wow. Oprah, I don't want to picture Oprah in lingerie. That's somebody auntie. Like, I don't want to picture her in lingerie, but damn, that's cold-blooded. He laughed at her.
Before you be concerned about my marriage, take time about your relationship. So I say these things to say, what are we following? What are we watching? What are we saying? This is what I want to do, because now you're in your 70s. Now you're in your 70s. At what point do you say, I want to be loved? I want to love somebody. So all the money and all the stuff, T.S. Madison, that means absolutely nothing when there's nobody laying next to you rubbing your back. The money can't rub your back. The money can't rub your feet. The money can't talk to you and say, you need to fix your attitude. The money can't say, look at the grandkids running around. The money can't do that. So what our sister have is money. And would I love to talk to her? Yes. Would I love to talk to Tyler Perry? Yes. And I've said it before and I'll say it a million times. Let's have a public, open conversation.
You know, Monique has always been willing to have a conversation with them despite of this. I think the whole thing is like, they don't feel like they need to. And two, would they ever come out publicly and say they were wrong? They don't seem like those kind of people at all.
With my husband and I, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and she can bring Gail because they're always together. I respect that relationship. Bring her. So we can all have an open dialogue and hopefully show our community what healing looks like. Lee Daniels and I showed the community.
I'll bring my husband and you bring your girlfriend. That's what Monique was saying, y'all. That was shade.
And I'll tell you, we were doing the Netflix movie. And one of the sisters that work at Netflix came up to us and she started crying. She said, y'all don't know what it means to us as the community to see y'all in this relationship.
Girl, the countless times that I've been stopped and said,
yes,
please, thank you for talking to Lee. Thank you, Miss Mary, for praying. And thank you for, you know, because y'all have made magic together.
Oprah Winfrey, you watched a Black woman be thrown under the bus.
Okay. So that was the end of that clip. And make sure you guys check out the Outlaws podcast with T.S. Madison. And again, Monique said a lot because it wasn't just the whole blackball thing. It was like the ultimate portrayal from Tyler Perry and Oprah. Like, you really tried to mess with my family, mess with my marriage. Like, you really tried to hurt me, because that is hurtful. Like, there's some shit like, you know, and mind you, Monique has shared that she was molested by her brother. She has shared that before, but you doing some kind of special on Monique's life and you having the mom, the dad, and nah. Oprah, you ain't right for that. Because let's be honest, Oprah wouldn't like nobody doing that to her. Would that even be allowed to be done to Oprah? That's the real question. I think not. So even with that being said, like, I know people go like, Monique always talking, she always crying and complaining, but I mean, like I said last time, we always stop and listen. And she's one of those people like, hey, necessarily you might not like what I'm saying, but I'm going to tell you the truth and I'm going to tell you what happened to me. I'm going to speak up for the voiceless. And so, hey, what do you do with that? The only thing you can do is respect it. But make sure you respect me by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel for more. And also, you guys, thank you for checking out the video. And make sure you guys check out T.S. Madison Outlaws podcast with Monique. This was good. This is definitely a good show. I watched the whole thing. It's very long, but yeah, check it out. Definitely. All right. Love y'all. Deuces, everybody.